Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today, I am going over tips and secrets to sniping in Modern Warfare. My goal of this video is honestly really just to teach you even one thing. I know a lot of y'all know a lot about sniping, but hopefully y'all can learn something new and become even better. Now, if this video helps you in any way, shape, or form, please consider liking and subscribing. It does help me more than you guys know. I'll have a ton of timestamps down in the description. And then at the end of the video, I'll be going over class setups for the top snipers that are used in Modern Warfare. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video. So there are a lot of things that are different in Modern Warfare than other games, such as it's not as easy to just run and gun with a sniper. You're going to have to really focus on your positioning, or when you aim in with a sniper, it's not always going to be centered. Your gun is constantly swaying, just like a couple other Call of Duty games, so your gun is going to be off-centered just slightly. And then also something to keep in mind is that literally every single sniper is different. Now this is no different than any other Call of Duty game, but it's important to learn the ADS speeds and the power behind each sniper, trying each one out and finding what you like the best. Then on top of that, there is also 4 different kinds of sniping, which everybody should know. There's hard scoping, quick scoping, drag scoping, and no scoping. Hard scoping, self-explanatory really. That's just where you're aiming down sight a little bit longer. Now honestly, this usually isn't the best idea, especially for Modern Warfare, just how the movement works. Quick scoping has been in every single COD. It's always, the top recommended to do. It looks a lot nicer for clips, and that's really what the community expects from you. And then drag scoping, of course, that's when you're not directly aimed in at someone, and when you aim in, you drag over to their body and kill them, or no scoping where you don't aim in at all. So now that we got all that out of the way, my first big tip is going to be centering. Centering is going to be extremely important, especially when just quick scoping. Centering is going to be when you're looking directly in the middle or a little bit higher. Pamaj says aim higher, and that's a really great tip. So centering towards the chest and up, whether you're looking through a doorway or down hallways, even if you're out in the open, centering is very important. Aiming too low or high can cause you to miss shots or just get a lot of hit markers. Like I mentioned, Pamaj always says aim higher. This is his motto, aim higher. Again, a lot of y'all I'm sure knows that, but working on aiming to the chest and higher will cause you to get less hit markers with all of the marksman rifles and snipers. If you find that you're getting a ton of hit markers, work on that. Now, although that centering can be very important, on larger maps or when someone's further away, leading your shot can be even more important. That's when you're aiming in front of someone where they're going to, rather than right on the person. Aiming in front of the person can give you a little bit more time to adjust your shot and get that kill. Following behind or on the person can cause you to lose track and miss shots very easily when they are further away. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. Now, my next big tip, which is very self-explanatory, is having high ADS speeds. To be able to go up against SMGs and ARs, just really any weapon, you need to be able to put that sniper up as fast as possible. Now, again, I'm going to be going over a ton of class setups at the end of this video, which will be covering the fastest ways or the fastest attachments to put on each sniper so that you can get your gun up very fast. But if you want to create your own, then please focus on that aim down sight speed. Again, very important to get that first shot. Next, I wanted to jump into different settings that you should be using to work on your overall movement and just to help you get around a lot better and get kills a lot easier. Sliding and jumping can be a huge advantage when jumping around corners or sliding around corners. It can really catch people off guard. Although that is highly recommended, another big tip is to stop where you are when you take your shot. If you're constantly jumping back and forth or sliding back and forth in the middle of your shooting, you're going to miss more shots. Top tier snipers have talked a lot about when you're about to take that shot, stand still. Now, I'm not saying stand still for multiple seconds while you're taking each shot, but you need to not be moving around. You need to move, stop, and shoot and repeat that process. Stopping where you're at will increase your accuracy drastically, and you'll see that a lot if you practice on that. Again, going into the settings, if you want to slide a lot more than jump, I would definitely put on tactical. This is going to make it so when you press down your right thumbstick, you will slide or you will crouch, making it so that you don't have to take your thumb off of the toggle stick, which is very important when sniping, or really with any kind of gun. If you can prevent yourself from taking your thumb off your toggle sticks, you'll have a huge advantage. Those milliseconds that it takes to move your thumb can be the difference between life and death. Now moving on to jumping, you can put on the bumper jumpers, which will make it when pressing down L1, you're going to jump, which also helps with you not moving your thumb off of the toggle stick. I know a lot of people that use bumper jumper or use a scuff. You can use a scuff for either one of these, and it helps them out a lot. Now, I always run default. I have a scuff, so I'm able to jump and slide without taking my thumb off the toggle stick. I cannot stress that enough, how important it is to keep your thumb on the toggle stick. Now, moving on to sensitivity. My sensitivity isn't that high because I'm just not used to super high sensitivities, but having a high sensitivity gives you a higher advantage and just gives you better clips when you hit stuff. It just looks nicer. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you're at 4.4 or 6.6, whatever you're at, I would not just go all the way up to 15 or whatever. You need to work your way up. You want it fast enough that you can snap on players, but not so fast that you're missing shots. Every couple games, or when you get used to that sensitivity, or even every day, I would bump it up by 1 or 2 until you get to maybe the 10 to 12 range, and then you should be pretty good. So start this off slow and build it up. Having that high sensitivity can give you a huge advantage. Moving on to the aim response curve type. A lot of snipers use linear. This is going to be best for sniping, the best response curve for sniping. This makes it, as you can see, your aim stick maps directly to your aim rate. Very important to run linear, and you should see a difference. For aim assist, I always run focusing. A lot of people recommend just running standard for sniping, but right now focusing is very broken and very overpowered. So as of right now, I'm running focusing. It helps a lot with hitting those shots. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, positioning is key. You can't just run and gun anymore. I mean, you can, but most of the time it doesn't work out. Positioning can take a while to get used to, figuring out which routes to take, how to get behind the enemy lines without them seeing you. But use everything that you can to your advantage, whether that's a head glitch, a wall, whatever you need to. A lot of snipers will stick to one specific area and not move around too much so that they can take control over that area. You can also work at getting around the enemy lines and getting behind them, and that can make for a very easy clip. Learning the spawns is also very important. There's hundreds of videos on how to spawn trap on certain maps, and I would definitely recommend watching those if you're planning on going for clips. Now, I wanted to go over the best class setups for certain snipers and marksman rifles. I'm not going to go too much into each attachment, just because I will drag out this video for a long time. But just know that a lot of these attachments focuses on that aim down sight speed, that recoil control, and less flinch. You'll see on some of these class setups, I use focus for my perk, which helps with getting hit and not having as much flinch. And then others, I'm going to be using sleight of hand to reload faster. I'm going to have timestamps once again to each one of these weapons. Make sure to check it out if you're looking for a specific one. To start off, we're using the Dragunov. I run the 510mm compact barrel, the tac laser, VLK lightweight stock, focus, and bipod. Bipod is really going to be useful when crouching and proning. If you don't crouch and prone a lot, take that off. Maybe run 15 round mags. You can change it out with whatever you want, but I use bipod. I crouch a lot, and it's pretty helpful. Next, for the Rytec AMR, I run the F-Tac 448mm dictator barrel, the tac laser, the XRK Mastodon stock, stippled grip tape, and sleight of hands. For the AX50, the 17-inch factory barrel, tac laser, Syngard Arms Assassin stock, 7 round mags, and the stippled grip tape. For the HDR, I run the tac laser, the F-Tac Stalker Scout, the bipod, the 7-round mags, and the focus perk. Again, this is going to help with your flinch. Moving on to marksman rifles, I run the MK2 Carbine with the tac laser, sniper scope, FSS, MK2 sport comb, stock, the stipple grip tape, and then sleight of hands. A lot of people don't run the sniper scope on this. They'll put on these smaller reflex sights, whatever you want to use. I use the GI mini reflex a lot. That's going to be up to you. Last but not least, the Car 98K with the tac laser. Again, with that sniper scope, change it out if you want to. F-Tac sport comb stock, stippled grip tape, and sleight of hand. Those are going to be all of the top best class setups to use, and I highly recommend using those or variants of those. So this is going to be all my tips for sniping in Modern Warfare, all my tips and secrets, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you guys, I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.